Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to GameStar TV for the final night of the Season 3 Heroes of the Storm qualifiers for the HGC. My name is Kit Fox. It is an absolute pleasure to be your host for this evening. Tonight, we've got an amazing team standing by. We've got Crisis as the producer. Skimmy will be your play-by-play caster. Vandy's back in the analyst position. And Avexium back as the community manager, the champion. And we'd like to welcome all the teams that have qualified. We've got 8 teams that have made their way here into the finals this week, but there is one match that everybody has been absolutely frothing over, and that is Darksided versus Trump Sports. And hopefully, should things go accordingly, that will be the last match that we will feature tonight. It's going to be best of 3s tonight. There'll be 2 of those games. Maps will be drafted by the teams, and the higher seed will be choosing either between the first map or the first hero ban. We've got some giveaways thanks to our sponsors, Blizzard, ANZ. We're going to get right into that. So we've got 4 to give away. So !GS HOTS into the Twitch chat, and that will enter you into the chance to win one of 4 12 loot chest bundles. We're going to be drawing 2 of those after the first best of 3 and another 2 after the second best of 3. A quick PSA that Malthael is still banned due to the 2-week competitive ruling. So anybody playing Malthael will instantly forfeit their matches. But this is the playoffs. This is where the big boys tussle, and they know their stuff, and they know not to pick Malthael. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pass you over to the man who has been known to tip his waiters with not cash, but with the dankest memes. I'm talking about Skimmy, and he's joined once again by Vandy.
It gets more and more ridiculous every single week, mate. How are you, Vandy?
No, I'm great, especially after hearing how you tip people, Skimmy. I never knew.
Well, you know, I just walk into a club and I go, do I get a discount for one of these bad boys? But
Step back.
I don't really get too much luck with that. So let's jump into the game, Vandy. We've got Ethereal up against No Worries. We're on to the Spider Queen. Before we jump into that draft, I will tell you that we had Ethereal going for the first pick. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, sorry. They went for the map pick, and they actually burned out Cursed Hollow. No Worries then went for the Warhead Junction ban, so no love lost in that regard.
No worries. I mean, that's what their team name is, and they're going to get the first pick and the first ban. So let's see what they do with it, shall we?
Let's see. Absolutely, indeed. I say we've had MSB come to a closure. Nomi are doing a great job, actually. The first time any team from ANZ that has gone overseas has made it to the playoffs. So not only do they get extra prize money, but they put us on the map as that #1 minor region, which we already knew. I mean, we already got some of the best banter in the region, so we just needed to show that on the global stage.
ANZ, as they're calling us, and we're definitely on the map. I love it. We need more of that action. I love what Nomia did. They had some great matches. Definitely. I mean, I think we all shed a tear when they did get knocked out, but they made us so proud, Skimmy.
I say once you start versing those Koreans, I think the level of Hero League here just isn't on the same level as what they're playing with, so it's understandable. Have a great day, but Tomb of the Spider Queen, 30 seconds on this one. No worries. Maybe they've got a few worries. They're not locking in anything just yet. It's still going to be on that same patch where we see the likes of Genji and Nubrek, Uther, all so highly contested. Yep. So expect to see one of those be the go-to.
Absolutely. And I mean, we were touching on things such as Dahaka. Yes, this is a smaller map, but that wave clear that he can bring so good. Diva as well, starting to really get some respect bans because we're seeing No Worries. They are worried about Diva on a small map like this and the zone control that she could bring.
So let's think about this, Vandy. What does this Diva ban actually insinuate? Potentially they're going to go for a dive composition. We've seen in the past how much it can really disrupt the likes of Anubrak, Genji, Greymane for that matter. So potentially they're looking to go for that sweaty engage between both the lanes. Malthael's been hovered here. We did mention he was banned. So once again, I think I saw this during the Open Division on Tuesday night where another team was just trying to hover that, make us talk about it, make us feel that we are even second-guessing what we're talking about.
I hope they will change it to a Nubrek. Maybe they're just trying to work out, you really don't need to use ban on him. I'm just waiting to see what they do, but absolutely right. We will say it again. Malthael is banned. He has not yet met the 2-week criteria for competitive play. And touching on exactly what we were talking about with No Worries and how they wish to draft, it's going to be exactly that, Skimmy.
They're just going to waste the ban. Okay.
Well, that's just how much they don't want to verse Malthael, Skimmy. But it really opens it up for No Worries. Let's see now if they are going to start put together their dive combo. I'd like to see the likes of Greymane, Uther, a Genji starting to open things up. Let's see how this draft goes because they're all hot picks for a map like this.
Yeah, I don't really think there's any clear go-to first pick here. So many S-tier Warriors, just picks available across the board. They're going to lock in with the Uther, so a safe standard pick, a great way to prevent your opposition in going for a very dive or even CC-orientated comp, given that level 7 gun in the Ancient Kings. A questionable talent, a talent which for the first time reliably outshines Cleanse. And when a talent can actually define a meta, well, I'm sure that's going to be nerfed in the next patch.
Nerfed or at least adjusted. Maybe some changes to the other supports to bring them up to line, but Uther at the moment is hot property, and exactly for that reason. Even if you're not going to run a dive comp yourself, the amount of... he's got so much versatility. He can set it with Divine Storm, or he can get Divine Shield. Just so much versatility. But let's touch on this Vala and Johanna. Once again, another very strong opening. Johanna anticipating perhaps some auto attackers, or they're picking her for her durability. She's a great lane pusher as well and a wave clearer. So great things to have on this map.
So, I mean, definitely, they're going to go for that wave clear, which is such an important factor of this map, as really touched upon. But, wow, straight away, Kael'thas and Anub'arak. Kael'thas so early on into this draft, you would have thought that the likes of Greymane or even Genji would be paired with the Uth in their first rotation. But here they're saying that we're expecting you to potentially go for the dive. Because, I mean, Kael'thas against the likes of Vala should actually outshine her. Sure, they're going to have the sustain element from that side of Ethereal, but the Kael'thas, you're not necessarily thinking it's the obvious Divine Shield unless they have so many threats scary in your face.
Yeah, pretty much. You summed it up really nicely for us, Skimmy. And also, by picking that Anub'arak as well, Kael'thas can be heavily countered by something like Anub'arak. Once again, that is that dive. And by removing it, it's just helping keep Kael'thas safe. They can peel for him and banning out that Oriole. I like that ban. Very smart ban, anticipated, because Vala, Oriole... You can almost open up to go into that holy trinity that they kept throwing around in MSB. And what that is basically is you run 2 supports. Generally, one is a battery like Oriole, and then you pick up a Tassadar or a Zarya or something like that to keep Vala extra safe.
Yeah, it's an annoying map to play it on, especially where you can bounce between such close proximity. You'll clear out the waves extremely well. You'll drain the ammo as the waves will be constantly pushed into the tower. And aggressively, you'll be able to then start pushing down those towers and get those objectives, not to mention have all those gems, and you can start to snowball on that lead. Whoa, hold the phone. Here goes Asmodan, and he's going to be locked in here. So this seems to be a bit of a throwback to the old days. We saw it last week as well, Vandy, and I believe it was by the exact same team. So these guys definitely have something to do with Asmo.
Yeah, something about them. They're really loving channeling that explicit. If we're paying out the one who has coined the Asmodunk, essentially. And that's a throwback to my Hero League as well, and how much I'm really starting to hate this champion. But I'm just kidding. Asmodunk can work quite well, and really it's pushing into, really putting him into that wave clear role and just pushing for days. He can push 2 lanes, essentially, just by himself. What more is there to say? And that Rhaegar, well, he's definitely a safe bet for Vala. If he goes Ancestral, keep her nice and safe, or even for Johanna. We've seen some godly Ancestrals.
So I'm just trying to think. They got the Vala for the early game to try and tide over Asmodan, also able to help out in the early rotations, both between Multi-Shot and Condemn, so that Asmo can get those stacks. Because this is what happened last time. I believe, if my memory serves me well, it was Luminum who actually played the Asmodan. And they did not... Well, I suppose they kept their own. It was on Dragonshide. The late game started to come around, and that's when really the big issues started to come through the floors. But Anub'arak, if he can time it well with the Cocoon, should be able to blow up, because I said they can actually negate that Ancestral and clutch that out there. So 2 final picks for No Worries. How do I want to respond? I would like to see a Giant Killer. I'd like to see a Leoric, but whether that's going to be the case, they're going to go for Sylvanas, and they're going to go for the Shredding with the Tychus, though, so that should smash Rasmodon.
That Sylvanas, interesting. Really, they're thinking about winning the objective, pushing really nice and hard. Once again, some more wave clear, and Tychus going to give them that much-needed damage to pair off nicely with Kael'thas once Anub'arak initiates for them. And Uther just keeping everyone nice and safe. Uther could actually even go a Divine Storm, depending on how deep he wants to dive with Anub'arak. But on the flip side, what I'm seeing on the side of Ethereal that perhaps we didn't touch on is that we're not really seeing anyone to bust out of Cocoon. So a Li Ming, she's been picked up for that Disintegrate. You can instantly bust someone out, really nullify that heroic. Yeah. So I'd like to see something like that, because at the moment, if anyone gets Cocoon, it's going to be a slow process to try and bail them out. And that's a 5v4 fight we're talking about.
Absolutely, and I say, given that you can actually deny that Ancestral, if there's no reliable way to get her out, then yes, you're going to be able to shred down Esmeralda that quickly, but if you can jump on the Vala, it's a big component of their team fight that's gone and out of the water. Ragnaros isn't going to really help in that regard too much. Yes, it's added burst and extra fire to add to the fold of things, but they're really trying to sort of patch together a comp that can survive the early mid game, not fall too far behind, and once that late game is achieved, Azmodan is going to give so many problems to Ufa, not to mention the squishiness of both Kel'Thas and Sylvanas. Yes, Nubrak will have the web armor, they say the magic armor, but Tychus, I mean, he's innately tanky himself, so if this game goes on long, and you can see that's the reason they went for Sylvanas, they can't afford to leave this game to go on a timer.
Correct. They really cannot, because I think really with the Azmodan, he's a ticking time bomb. Similar to Nazeebo, he's going to stack it up. He's going to do more damage as the game goes on, scale really well. And same with Valor. She can turn into a monster. Yes, Kel'Thas also does get power spikes at 16. But really, if they can't win the early game, I'd be a little bit worried about Ethereal's comp. No Worries comp.
I mean, they're going to have to definitely push. This is a bit of a throwback to the past where you have the Sylvanas. I mean, they have the wave clear on both sides. Arguably, it's slightly favorable for Ethereal. I mean, if they get super sweaty with it, they can actually go for the Asmo Dunk into the Rag Hammer, and they both get stacks at the same time, so that really accelerates their growth into this game. And I mean, if those guys sort of get ahead, as long as they keep a level buffer going into level 10s, they have a really good chance of actually taking this game to the late game, because it's 2 with a Spider Queen. The objective, for the most part, isn't too impactful. So, I'm excited, Bandy. Why don't you introduce these two teams for us?
No worries, let's get it started. So on the blue side, we have the team Ethereal with Touch Me playing Johanna, Crazometer on Rhaegar, Sarah Lee playing Ragnaros, Luminum on Azmodan, and Vala playing Greatness. Greatness playing Vala.
Well, he's going to be Greatness. So we'll have to see what he can do. I love Vala, is my main hero. But on the right-hand side, in the red shorts, it's Team No Worries. Ultivian on Sylvanas, Tommy on Tychus, Leica on a Nubarak, Nundred on Uther, and Kel'Thas finally by good old Jesmus.
Lovely. So let's see this battle royale kick off. And Greatness, normally he favors mages. What we've seen, well, at least what we've seen on stream for his team. So seeing him on the Val will be a refreshing new aspect. Let's see what he can bring, Skimmy.
So there we go. It is the old taste of blood. So definitely look to see how they manipulate this one. It's going to be Mana Addict. So he's not going to go the convection. He wants to sort of scale into that late game. He's respecting that, okay, maybe the gank potential isn't so insane, but if I do die, if this game does go late and I can't survive, then there are big troubles. But a huge gravity lapse followed by the living bomb, achieving value on 3 different targets, and Joanna, the tank, gone in an instant's first blood in the mid lane.
Perhaps forecasting some things to come, because as we saw, Tychus so good at shredding down even a tank like Johanna, even with that Iron Skin being popped, so made short work of it. But it's just an early game kill. It's not going to make or break your life. It's more just those morale wins at this point.
Yeah, going to be definitely trying to win these advantages by bouncing lanes quickly as they may be. And I mean, Tychus should actually not have the worst time in this bottom lane. Yes, he does get poked from afar, but it depends how he wants to play this. Rag should have the advantage, technically speaking, if he does play off the Empower Sulfurous cooldown with that self-sustain. So be interested to see how he's playing. Look at this already, Vandy. He's already down to half. He's getting shredded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ragnaros is just a big bully. And if you cannot match his wave clear, I mean, Tychus can perhaps, but it's more that Tychus is in the death zone by taking so much trade and does not have the sustain. And that's why Rag can be such a bully.
Ooh,
and
hold the phone, Bandy. Big CC combo. That was the stun, followed by the gravity lapse. Rhaegar is taken out for free. And a repeat of what happened just before on Johanna happens again. You've got to respect that CC, Jane.
You really do need to. That's often, I guess, what people draft for in this. You rotate as that 4-man nice and strong. You leave a specialist to push both lanes, or you're just pushing them so well yourself. Oh, Bella's fallen as well, Skimmy.
Wow, Jesmus is popping off right now as KZ. I love the hero, and he's definitely putting in work because they realize, they respect that they're going to lose this bottom lane. They need to find advantages in the 4-man, utilize the Sylvanas push, and make sure that they can bully this Azmodan.
That's it, really. And by keeping... Yes, Tychus is arguably losing the lane, but all he needs to do is just grab the gems, clear it out so they're not losing experience. He just needs to be present.
He needs to go even and be a soaking machine. Become a sponge and do your job. Be a team player, but right now it's all eyes on this 4-man. You can see that they're bouncing between lanes are cleared in an instant, and they're looking for those ganking opportunities. They're the one that have the control of this shrub, if you will. The inventory with the nest egg. and they're taking full advantage of it. They like it. Did go for the invade, will stay engaged really onto greatness, but the collapse just wasn't there. But they have already achieved a slight level lead.
It's the right mindset, let's say. By clearing out a score, getting those engaged, I'm going to cut myself off, because in the mid, another brawl's happening.
Once again, it seems to be the focusing onto Leica, but Leica did get the turnaround for a second. The laser beam is achieving so much value, so many slow down members. And the damage comes into the re-engage there with the Impale, looking to take out Luminin, but Altivian was on the side trying to go for Chronometer. He was getting so low due to that Shadow Dagger, but he does stay alive at the very last second. A big orb trying to go to the face. Oh, the sniping potential from Big Ragdaddy from downtown. And they pick up the kill. A great trade, and arguably a lot more should have happened.
Oh, they were so low. I love the drive-by by Sarah Lee. Really, finally securing the kill that was rightfully theirs. Wonderful stuff, Skimmy, and they're really keeping even both teams with experience. I'm just seeing how their quests are going with the stacking. Sulfurous Hunger's almost complete, and Asmodan already 88 stacks to Taste for Blood. Not so bad.
Not so bad indeed. He can single-handedly just rely on Touch Me just to bounce between these lanes in a second. But I say, yeah, right now this is getting a little bit scary. I mean, as long as they keep within an even scaling of this, they are happy days. But wow, the ganking did come out. They needed to do that. They finally give Tommy a bit of love. He's thinking, I'm sure he was on comms saying, look guys, please help me out. I just don't want to verse this raid boss. And he gets his comeuppance.
They really caught Sarah Lee trying to do the turn-in, and it was just that collapse, as you said, like it going in, not hesitating at all.
Once again, another collapse into here. Jesma's finding the 1v1 up against Valo, and Valo, without Gloom at level 13, gets absolutely shredded from all the front-loaded damage of the Kelfast. A huge flame strike onto 3 people at the gate, amplified by Burned Flesh at level 7. And I say Kelfast, really the one to look for this game. So curious to see if they do go for the Divine Shield or not.
Really? They could, because if they put all their eggs in that Jesmez basket, they need to keep him safe. He can be the hyper carry, similar to how Valor. If he can get enough damage on the team, they will see some huge area of effect damage coming out from him.
I mean, I suppose I can see the argument for both sides, where they can go to Divine Storm and actually just run in with an Ubrak and get the chain CC stuns off. Not to mention, we've seen what they've done in the early game, even without that. So, I mean, there's no obvious dive target otherwise, which would spring to mind and make it an obvious choice. But hey, this is really what they can achieve. And first Red Weavers have been spawned in their favour. Now, Sylvanas is going to be pushing the top lane. This is where they can sort of get that really good engage. The ability to try and snowball this lead in such a big advantage. A level lead has already been acquired as a result of this, Vandy. No response so far from Ethereal. They're just slowly clearing lanes.
Well, Ethereal, they've taken out the mid one because no one was there, and now they will try and bring the fight. But I love that the bot lane's been relatively uninterrupted in the push.
Tychus is actually going to go on the rotate. He's already down to about 3/4 of his life bars, but he's going to join the fight in mid lane. So currently the out rotation really working in favour, still retaining that level lead. The wall in the top lane was completely shredded down. The second one in the mid lane is going to be the next to fall. Touch Me does have the Iron Skin available. He actually did get jumped upon, but so patient. Whether or not that was the right call, he's dropped a lot of health as a result. Chronometer is going to get in there. Molten Core's going to be popping. You can see the calls being made by No Worries straight away. Just run away. Waste that cooldown, and that's done for a long time.
I love that. They're really so on point with their rotations this game, Skimmy, and very reactive to how the situation's panning out. Yes, the top web weaver was still quite healthy. Perhaps you could argue they wanted to push onto the keep front wall, but no, because they've got Sylvanas instantly, even without the web weaver, just rotate mid. Really well done. And then backing off as soon as Molten Core was done. Like, I couldn't fault a single thing that they did that entire time. And the whole time, Tommy was soaking down bot until the web weaver fell.
There we go. It is going to be the Divine Shield Vandy, so they're looking to amplify and make sure that one of those carries does stay alive long enough in this fight. You can see these big globes, the dunks are coming on through. Not really going to do too much, just tickling at this stage until that black core is acquired to amplify that by 75%. That's when it starts to get scary. Still within a level buffer. This is what they need to do. Stay within that level range. They haven't forced any scrappy 5v5s. I mean, it would be a bit stupid if they did. Ooh, like a questionable barrow charge there. Maybe it's going to sacrifice this one, go for the full. Tommy is considering looking for Sorelli, who is right now going on a bit of an adventure, but he realizes that they're not going to come for me. I can get out, and they just want to get more XP.
Love that. By not chasing Sarah Lee, they were able to get an objective. But yeah, Sarah Lee in a bit of a sticky situation there. They could have collapsed him quite easily, especially without a Nubrak. But look at the push coming out from Ethereal now, pushing that top lane as a unit.
This is a good trade for them. So as a result of buying all that time in the bot lane, they've actually managed to get a hand in for free, uncontested, push on down that top wall and open up the gatekeeps for that vault. So still within that level lead. Would just love to see them stick pretty, because I mean, right now, Luminum is on 206 stacks, nearly halfway through, and he's going to be playing this one patiently. This is when they can start to get that sweaty response. They can start to get their push on, start to even out that level deficit, and straight away Tommy responds with the Odin saying, get back, you're not doing this for free, and Mike is going to try and join this fight. There goes the Cocoon straight away. He's actually going to look for this fight. Burrow Charge finding insane value onto 3. The shield comes across, though. It's going to be the turnaround. Look at the dump, Fandy. Insane amount of damage. But the Phoenix, the very last click of the beat. And it does get the trades on towards Valor.
Really? I just saw Greatness blowing up there as soon as Strafe was popped. Not even a chance for Chrysometer to get ancestral heal off, but
these dunks are really hurting. This is only 242 stacks. And it's starting to really punish these people. Moondroid will not have to sustain to blast through all this. He's not going to be able to sustain these long board fights. They need to get in, get the kills, and get out. Look at these dunks! Jesmus has taken 3 to the face. Not to mention all the healing that Moondroid's done. This hurts.
It is. It's starting to chip away at their health. That's really what Asmodean can do. And as long as he continues to stack, there's another one.
He's having so much fun. Big Ancestral coming out on towards Shahada, but she's out of mana now. She can't do much more than that. Greatness going to go for the 1v1 against Altivian. Hungering Arrow was used, but it does bounce on that well. Another Biscuit or Rhaegar's going to be the next one to fall. Looking for Greatness, running the wrong way. 4 members onto it. He burns the strafe. Don't know why. He wanted a spin to win, but he spun to the grave. Level 13 has been hit as a result. Now, do they go for the boss? What do they do? I love to see them just try and do something aggressive here. Not play it passively. They need to take advantage.
They are. Perfect. It was just instantly rotate to the boss, Tommy, to get things started while the rest of the tanks coming up. They're going to just trade aggro. But really on the side of Ethereal, they just needed to back off. Like, the fight was so extended and Greatness just running the wrong way. Oh, it feels bad. I know you can panic in a situation like that, but not that way. Not like this.
I think you can see them getting a little bit excited, thinking, hang on, wait, is Tommy right there? Unfortunate for him, he just falls in a heartbeat. He decides actually to pop the Odin. It's done towards Jesmus as well. It's just going to be the boss bit. Throw Moondred's on that pit on his own. He's going to use the Divine Shield. What's he doing? Kelfar's gone. He's on his own. It's the boss throw. They're going to throw it on the boss. The boss is being picked up by Ethereal, who are technically the team that should be behind. They've just absolutely had a field day. Triple kill, pick up the boss, and smile for your family. Wow.
I'm starting to sense both teams are a little bit in panic mode. I feel like there was things going wrong both. Yes, okay, that team fight from below, it was really Ethereal overstaying. That fight from boss just, and they really needed to commit to it. Like, why was Tychus there? He just did not need to be. Everyone was just forcing off the point. It really just allowed Ethereal to run in and say, thanks, no worries.
And not to mention, he used the Odin, Vandy. The Odin's down for another 50 seconds. How impactful would it be right now? It's not going to be there. The only defensive tool they have is this Phoenix, which is going to achieve a little bit of value, but look at the dunk. Dunk onto 3, and they just get shredded down to half. These extended team fights are exactly what Ethereal want, and now for the first time in this game, they are the ones ahead with Web Weavers to complement this boss. They could potentially threaten the keep.
Oh, let's see what they do here. They're still sticking in the top lane, letting the other Web Weavers in the other lanes push up. Still quite healthy. As long as we can see Aluminum getting those dunks, it will really keep him at bay. Beautiful
juke there by Tommy. I'm not sure if he caught that there. He actually juked out the Bless Shield with a huge dash. And Greatness is going to be caught in there. Oh, the sweaty jump up. They go straight on towards Valor. Rhaegar is already in the cocoon. No chance for an Ancestral. And they are going to look to try and take it this fight. They've done the damage. They've got the kills. Can they find more? The dunks coming in here. Look! They're so low. Oh, that's so furious. Tychus caught with his pants down, tried to go for the mount up, but not today, not on my watch. Both carries down to 150, and they find one.
Skimmy, this game is amazing. It's power-packed, and Justice is raining from above to steal a line from Overwatch, because what was that? Insane! Another dunk. Let's see how many stacks Aluminum's on now. He's on 328. Not bad.
Slow fights are really starting to hurt these guys, and you can sense a little bit of, like you said, the panic. Hey, we should be winning these early games convincingly too. Right now, Aluminum is starting to have his own way with this game, and I tell you what, I'd almost be questioning if they just actually start to cocoon him.
Yeah, I mean, essentially that is... So what I'm seeing as well, when someone's getting targeted, I'd like to see Greatness pop that strafe and bail that person out, but Greatness is popping the strafe without really getting any cocoon busting out the value, essentially. So that person's just getting stuck in the side of cocoon, but it really isn't hurting them because it's really leaving Luminum untouched. It's leaving Cerealy untouched. All the damage is going on to Greatness. So yes, he falls, but there's still 2 really hard-hitting damage dealers that they need to worry about.
Keeps are all still safe, and yet the Merc's going to be picked up here, but the Merc's not the most impactful map for them. Going to be mainly used as a deterrent here. Whoa, like it, beautiful. I was going to say he's the safest person to have all those gems on with that magic armor, and he's the safest one to hand all of those in. That's going to give them a little bit of breathing room, but they are not level 16, and right now he's going to be collapsed upon. Burrow Charge is already been used. Bless Shield to ensure that he does not get away. Cocoon is on that back line, and they're going to come for the dunk. Big incision, but it's not big enough. Joanna does get taken out. Is this the fight they're looking for? Overkill is being used in the front line. Tommy looking to go crazy here, and Cerealy gets that gap off with the Molten Core. Big 3-man stun and that damage from afar. He gets shredded in a heartbeat, but there goes the Soul Fury Smash. Whiffs. Doesn't matter. Divine Shield was there for in case Ultimate needed it. Bullet is the next one to fall, and Moondroid just die. Do something. Get the heals out. This is the fight they needed. One more shot should do it. The knock-up is there. Quadra kill is the name of the game, and Luminum untouched, rightly so. The big fat crab runs back to the ocean.
I love that, but that was
not without picking up somebody with him.
That was a BM to Uther right there. But I really love the turnaround coming out from No Worries. They instantly knew what they need to do, like getting the turn in, and then from that, a switch was flipped. Yes, they were not 16, but they were so close they picked it up during the fight, and they all specced up. It really helped them. Cerealy trying to buy the team some time, but it wasn't going to be enough. With Greatness just being focused and dropped instantly again. That's the issue with Gala.
Asmodan in the web here. Bless Shield instantly as that one pops out. Leica does not have the chance to follow this up. They're actually running. Ultimate has already disappeared. They can't go for this keep. I was going to say this would work out such a good power play for them, but don't worry too much, Vandy. Top lane has been taken out there. The Web Weavers, followed by the 4-man kill, has really got them back into this game.
That's it. It's, excuse me. Such a back and forth game, and these are the ones I love the best. Luminum just needs to be able, in a fight like this, they just need Luminum to start dropping out a couple of pot shots, and then they go in. Once a couple of dunks have gone out, that's the time. But really, we can see No Worries has enough gems for another turn in, and they could push really hard with that. Remember, they do have the Sylvanas.
Back to back is what they need. They need some breathing room. If they can win that race to level 20, they can get one more decisive team fight with the death timers as long as they are now. And that's enough for them to rush through one lane and go for the end, because right now this is going to get even more scary as this game goes on. 420 is the name of it, and he's not going to be blazing it. He's going to be chucking that fire on the ground. Big Rag Daddy making... Oh, Big Rag Daddy, Big Crap Daddy. One of the two. There's daddies on this team right now. Ethereal really bringing home the numbers. But let's talk about it. 47,000 damage coming out of this Asmodan. Second to none. I mean, this the closest on the side of No Worries is 38. From Sylvanas, and getting insane value with that Shadow Dagger, but look at the pain. Jesmus, one dunk, and he goes from 3,100 to 500. It's insane.
420 dunk stacks will do that to you, but look at this. Touch me trying to get the engage.
They're looking for that engage right now, but Molten Core's being popped again. It's going to rain some fire from above, and it's going to catch insane amount of value. Forcing straight away the retreat. Can they get out of this one? Big smash! Is that enough to get Jesmus? No, Moondroid is there with the heals, but no! The dunk! It doesn't matter. There is fire from everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's 1-man, 2-man. It's going to find you in the end. And the call's been made. No Worries. They're looking for the re-engage. I don't agree with this call right now, because Greatness is going to get that huge strafe off there, keeping them all unmounted, keeping them all at bay. Now the Frost Shot with that multi-shot can be used. Oh, big bolt. And that's going to keep these guys still locked and loaded. Luminum, predictable dunk. It's just ridiculous, Andy. It's Raid Boss.
That's what Greatness wanted. That was the strafe he was looking for all game. Untouched, allowed to do all the damage. Luminum then, cleanup squad, ready to go. But we're seeing... Oh, No Worries. They're ready to engage.
Leica is desperately trying to get something here, but as he does it, his team just get absolutely smashed from the backline. He's trying to force something here. He had the Cocoon on towards Chrysometer. Bless Shield is going to use the... get that re-engagement. But there's just no reliable way for No Worries to push up with Leica. And as a result, Luminum is single-handedly starting to dictate this game.
Luminum showing us how it's done. Asma dunk. That's insane, Skinny. 450 stacks now. Oh my god, he's hitting like a truck. If this is going to be the turning point. If Luminum can continue, if they can do these fights where Cerealy's going to open up, get that Sulfuris smash down, and Luminum then follows up with the Globe, there's definitely going to be at least 1 or 2 members dead on the side of No Worries.
Okay, so let's paint the picture for the viewers, Vandy. Right now, top keep is gone for Ethereal. Right now, bottom keep literally has 35 health. you need to sneeze in it and it would fall down. Right now they have the lane pressure, but the boss is what's currently being contested. They have level 20 over their opponents right now. They surely have the advantage in that respect, but the engage is going to go straight into it. They are looking to try and make something happen here. A huge waiting arrow to 4 people in the backline, and that might just be enough. Molten Core is used there, and the dunk just does not achieve anything. So here a smash across 4 members on the point, looking to pick it up. Doesn't matter if you don't have 20. The engage was so strong, and once again, Boss Pit is the throw pit.
Boss Pit is just not where you want to be in this game. Not tonight. Look at this. Luminum as well. Getting burrowed. Oh, look at the CC. This is going to be it. This will be game, but no worries.
Wow. Well, literally is saying that was the condition. They had the lane pressure, but the boss for Ethereal would buy them much necessary time to slow siege the push in with the dunks. At the end of the day, the boss cost them the game. Boss calls. You either hate them or you love them. It's the Australian way with Marmite on your toast. And the game in the end goes in favour of No Worries for the 1-0.
Well, what a cracking way to start the evening, though, Skimmy. Such a back and forth by both teams. You can sense how much they wanted it. And, I just couldn't pick it to be that close, really, in draft. But it was exactly as we forecasted the photo. So for No Worries to excel, they need to get the early game, which they did, and then they sort of threw it by the boss. And then with Asmodan, with Luminum stacking it up, he ended the game with 153k siege damage and 68k hero damage. That's insane, Skimmy. But I'm going to hand it over to you. The viewers have watched it. We don't need to overanalyze it. Let's get into MVPs.
Vandy, I mean, this is the one time I'm really thinking that somebody that lost should be the one that got the MVP. Luminum was doing so much work. That boss at the end, I mean, it broke my heart down. But I mean, looking at his damage, as you already touched on, I mean, he was leading the stats on every single aspect. Not to mention he only died once, the least out of any members on his team. If we flip it on its head, I mean, Ultivian there with the Sylvanas doing, for the most part of the game, the most damage, the most potential for them to actually achieve that early game advantage. It's a tough call between those two in my books, Vandy.
I mean, I'd also like to give a commendable mention out to Leica as well for the Anubrak really enabling his team. That's expected of Anubrak, obviously, but I think as well, it looked like he was making the calls for his team. But yeah. I have to give it to Luminum as well, Skimmy. I agree with you. Yes, he was on the losing team. I think it was just that, once again, that tricky boss thing. We've all been there. We've all had a throw there. But Luminum doing so much work on the Asmodan. So congrats, Luminum. You're our MVP for this round.
Well, we currently have a best of 3. It's the final week of the games to the playoffs. Week number 4 to be specific. No Worries up against Ethereal. Currently, No Worries with a 1-0 lead in the best of 3. But I'm going to pass you back on to the man called Kit Fox as we get ready for game number 2.
Thank you very much, Skimmy and Vandy, for that amazing shoutcasting. Congratulations to the No Worries lads, picking up a cheeky win over Ethereal there, and I probably couldn't have called that MVP better myself. Luminum from downtown with those dunks, 420 stacks at something ludicrous like 11 minutes in, so well done to everybody there. If you haven't done so, ladies and gentlemen, get your exclamation mark GS HOTS into the Twitch chat, because we are going to be giving away those loot chest bundles thanks to our sponsor Blizzard ANZ. We're going to be giving away 2 of those after this Big O3 and another 2 after the big game tonight, which will be Darksided versus Trump Sports. So don't go anywhere. We got more Heroes of the Storm action coming at you right after this.